Our next presenter, Mr. Pradeep Chavan, will be presenting on wild veggies straight from the forest. Pradeep Chavan, who is working in the social sector for the last 17 years on the tribal forest relationship scenario. He is a member of Pune-based NGO called Kalpavruksha Environmental Action Group. Kalpavruksha works on environmental awareness, research, campaigns, litigations, and other areas from the last 42 years. Currently, he is working with the 7 villages in and around Bhima Shankar Wildlife Sanctuary towards the capacity building of the local community and towards the conservation of the livelihood scenarios as well. Kalpavruksha works on environmental awareness, research, campaigns, litigations from the past 42 years. We welcome you, Pradeep sir. I think you can.
Yes, so hello everyone. Subhash Dolas from one of the 7 villages called Yeroli. He is here with me to present this presentation also. So I'm also welcoming him to this presentation. So first of all, I would like to thank to the Piyush and Swati for inviting me for this session. First of all, I'm very sorry because my English is not good. So I'll try to convey as much as possible in English or in Hindi. So please, I hope that you all will understand this. So today I'm presenting on the Bhima Shankar wild vegetables. So basically, the work Kalpavruksha did on the wild vegetables and the wild vegetable festivals. So basically, in Kalpavruksha is working in 7 villages in and around the Bhima Shankar Wildlife Sanctuary in Rajgurunagar Taluka of Pune district. So we have started our work in 2008, and then decided to work on the conservation and livelihood aspect in that area because most of the NGOs are working on the Ambegaon Taluka. So then we decided to work on the Rajgurunagar Taluka for the issues impacting on the conservation and livelihoods scenario of that local people. Regarding the wild vegetables, so what are the wild vegetables? Because lots of the people always talk about the wild vegetables, but some people only knows about the vegetables which are found out in the forest only. But what are the wild vegetables? So basically, wild vegetables are the vegetables which are naturally grow in the wild. So in the wild means wild is a very vast terminology actually. So you can find it in the forest also, on the banks of river also, on the fields, in the agricultural land also, near our houses also. Even in Pune or outside the Pune, we can find most of the vegetables in our area also. So, but we don't know about those vegetables. That's why we don't know about the wild vegetables. So mostly the people always think that the vegetables are grown only in the forest area. So actually that is not right, because these wild vegetables also called uncultivated vegetables. Means those vegetables which are growing naturally and without any actually what do you call it, without any help from the human beings. So therefore that is the wild vegetables. Why wild vegetables? So because it is very healthy and very rich in nutrition. It also has lot of medicinal properties. It also prevents and cures various illnesses and diseases. As I earlier said, that it grows naturally. Means we do not cultivate this, but it grows naturally and mostly organically. So most of the wild vegetables grows organic. So organic means nowadays what happened? Most of the almost all the agriculture fields are contained with the pesticides and herbicides and even the what do you call it, these chemical fertilizers and all that. So therefore, our whole food is now very contaminated with the toxic things. So even we grows our daily food in the agriculture field, the vegetables in the agriculture field, because most of the agricultural practices are now depend on the chemical fertilizers and on the chemical what do you call it, the chemical uh, based agriculture inputs. So because of that, our food is now becoming more and more contaminated with the toxic. But these wild vegetables, those are mostly organic. Only some wild vegetables may be inorganic, because some wild vegetables or uncultivated vegetables, those are grows in the agriculture fields, which are actually uh, which those agriculture fields are or those farmers are using the chemical fertilizers and chemical what do you call it, herbicides or insecticides. So because of that, those might be contain some toxic thing, but still these wild vegetables have a lot of medicinal and nutritional properties in them. So as I said, that it grows naturally and mostly organically. Then it is available for free, because no we can mostly these available for free for whom, uh, for the collectors, means who collect the wild vegetables. For them it is for free, because they don't need to invest anything on that. They don't need to sow that wild vegetables in any way, or they don't need any kind of penny to invest in those wild vegetables. So those are as I said, those are grows naturally, and therefore it is available for free. So so these are the so because of this, most of the tribal communities and the rural communities, those were using these wild vegetables uh, uh, throughout their life. So, as I said, these wild vegetables have a lot of nutritional values and medicinal properties. So, what kind of nutritional values uh, does it has? So, it has various vitamins like A, B, C, D, and E. So, as we know that we for our body we need various types of vitamins and minerals and all that. So it has multiple or various vitamins, like the vitamins which can be uh, help to which are helping to nurture our body. So these vital vitamins are available in those wild vegetables. Then there are lots of minerals also available in these wild vegetables. So and these wild vegetables are the greatest source of these types of minerals. So these minerals can be iron. So a lot of vegetables have uh, uh, full of iron content. So that's why these can fulfill the need of blood in the our body. So therefore these minerals like iron, then calcium, then zinc, then manganese, then phosphorus, then potassium, chromium, silicon, thiamine, niacin, and etc. So these vital minerals are also available in these wild vegetables. That's why these wild vegetables have lot of value in our lives. Then these veggies also have a lot of proteins, carbohydrates, fibers, oils, and other nutritional aspects also. So these are the main uh, contents of some of the wild vegetables, which which some institutions or some researcher or some organizations have done a lot of researches on them, and then they found out these kinds of nutritional aspects in these wild veggies by thorough study. Then these vegetables also have a lot of medicinal properties. So which medicinal properties it does have? So according to Ayurveda, almost all plants have medicinal properties. So even the wild veggies also have lot of medicinal properties according to the Ayurveda. So and these plants can uh, cure various illnesses and diseases, even like cancer or maybe some cancer, or it has a lot of medicinal properties like anti diabetes and all that. So so as per the Ayurveda, all wild vegetables have proven to be having a lot of medicinal properties. And even according to the more modern medical science, they also found out that these wild vegetables have uh, uh, lot of medicinal properties which can be cure or which can be prevents the various diseases like cancer, diabetes, fungal infections. Even it is also proven as a some wild veg is also proven as like some great liver tonic, and even their antiseptic and anti-tumor, anti-diabetic, anti-cancer or anti-diabetic, anti-acid type of properties. So because of these wild vegetables have lot of value in our lives, and even the lives of the tribals and the forest, and uh, like vulnerable people who are mostly dependent on uh, these wild vegetables for their food and uh, earning also. So yeah, so so we have started our work on wild vegetables because there was some background behind this. There was some thought behind this. So what was it? So as per the discussions with the village elders, you can see in the photograph. So she is the lady from one of the village in Bhima Shankar. So she has tremendous knowledge about the wild vegetables and their uses or their medicinal use, and what kind of property or what kind of health benefits those wild vegetables has. So those kinds of information and traditional knowledge has most of the elder people has with them. But as per the discussions with them, we just found out that these people, because in old days there were very scarcity of food, like rice and wheat and all that kind of thing were there. So that's why these people were mostly depend on the forest. So they just and their relationship with the forest was as such, because every day they have a day-to-day contact with the forest. So that's why their day-to-day needs also depend on the forest. So they depend on the forest for their food, for their fodder, for their firewood, for their medicine, and for their other uses also, even also cash also. So because of that, they have developed a very what do you call it, very healthy relationship with the forest. And during that discussions, they always proudly say, "Ki because we have consumed so much of wild food, that's why we are not prone to the any serious prone to any serious diseases, or we never go to the doctor, or we always eat wild veggies, and therefore we are very healthy. That's why even in seasonal changes, we that seasonal changes also, or any viral infection also doesn't affect our health. So because we are healthy and we have consumed so much of wild vegetables, so that's why our body also become very what do you call it, uh, it is very become tough, and it also fights with the enemies, the outside enemies, like diseases and illnesses. So that's why, but they also feel very bad about the local youth and even their sons or uh, what do you call it, daughter-in-laws also, and other school kids also. They always say ki, we use so much of wild vegetables in our daily or in our food, seasonal wild veggies in our food. But these youngsters or these school-going kids or our daughter-in-laws or any other youth, so they are not using these wild vegetables in their diet because they feel ashamed about it or they do not like that those wild vegetables. So that's why these locals or these youth have becoming very inferiority complex about the vegetables. So they are looking it at as a very bad thing because they always say ki, are outside world see tribal as a very backward or outside world also see us like we are only goes in the jungle and we are very jungly and our diet is also very inferior. What kind of food we eat? We only eat wild veggies we collect from the forest, and we like have that in our diet. We have nachini, we have that red rice, and that uh, uh, because of that, these youngsters do not want to eat that rice or that nachni because nachni's bhakri looks very blackish, so that's why they don't want to eat it. The red rice also they do not want to eat, so they want very fine and very white colored rice in their diet, and that's why slowly and gradually those trends have been um, coming in the villages that people are not using uh, the red rice, but they are using the very polished rice. And this is also because these the exposures with the cities and all that like that. So therefore, the local youth were having a lot of inferiority complexes vis-a-vis wild vegetables and local diet. So uh, that is also. Then most of the young crowd, means especially women, so they were having various health issues like anemia and lack of immunity. So actually, in one of our, in I think 2009, uh, uh, a team from the Akshar Nandan school, the team of the student from Akshar Nandan school came in the Bhima Shankar for a visit, and in at that time they did a health checkup of the women of that area, and in that thing they found out that these women, especially the young women, so they were very anemic. uh, there is a lack of so they were very anemic, so and even their immunity power is also immunity level is also very low. So because of the various slight uh, seasonal changes, these women fell sick and they have to go to the doctor. So that was also the thing. Then because of the earlier thing, even I have discussed that the recently these use of less wild vegetables was very less in their local diet. So that was also the background, and they were having an excessive intake of cultivated toxic veggies because in recent days their market accessibility is much more than the in the past, because now we have various vehicles with us. Then a lot of villages have a lot of transportation facilities. Even they have easy market, and even nowadays because of the corona pandemic, they can get these cultivated vegetables in their doorstep also because of the corona pandemic. So because of these the kinds of thing, a lot and lot people are like favoring to have these cultivated toxic veggies, because we know that most of the vegetables which came in the market, they are highly toxic, highly toxic because of their uh, uh, because of the various uh, herbicides and insecticides, and even the uh, like uh, even chemical fertilizers also. So these kinds of vegetables have become the part of their local diet more, and therefore the wild veggies are becoming less and less uh, in the local diet. So then there is also a threat for their traditional knowledge and systems of that knowledge exchange. So because the local people's connection with the forest is becoming very weaker these days, because of the so many reasons. Because nowadays they don't have the cattles in their houses, even though they don't go forest for collecting these wild vegetables more no more. Then they are not going to their uh, connection with the forest is also becoming less and less due to various works. So that's why the traditional knowledge regarding the traditional knowledge related to the forest and ecosystem has become very weaker. So, and even their traditional knowledge with about the vegetables also become very uh, weaker and weaker. And these kinds of knowledge exchange systems also becoming very weaker, because the knowledge exchange systems were very strong in the past, because father or son uh, always goes together to the forest, or mother and daughter always, or mother, the family members and the small kids or the youngsters, they always used to go to the forest for various reasons. But nowadays, because of the students are going uh, in the uh, higher studies or in the other studies in other villages, so because of that, their connection with the forest become very less and less. And because of the exchange of this traditional knowledge also become very weak. Then issues with the protection and conservation of these veggies also become very strong. Uh, so that's why we felt that we need to have some sort of thing on the wild vegetables and all that. So yeah. So because of these reasons, then we thought that maybe for these to reduce these kinds of problems in the local communities, we need to have some sort of uh, dignity about the wild vegetables among the local youth and even communities. So that's why we felt that maybe we can celebrate these wild vegetable festivals to have some sort of uh, special dignity about the wild vegetables. So these wild vegetables, the objective behind these wild vegetables are to celebrate wild vegetables as a local cultural practice. So we want to have these wild vegetable festivals as a regular practice, and so that's why we wanted to have these to celebrate these wild vegetable festivals. Because if you celebrate these wild vegetable festivals, then uh, in that celebration, all youngsters and all school kids and all the local young women also can take part in these festivals, and this can be also become a as a cultural practice. So that's why we felt that we should celebrate these wild vegetable festival to have a dignity about the wild vegetables. Then also the second objective is also to pay gratitude towards the nutritional and medicinal values, because as I earlier said, that these wild vegetables have a lot of nutritional and medicinal properties. But these properties and nutritional factors are unknown to the local youths or some local people. So that's why we said we wanted to have that kind to pay that gratitude towards the nutritional and medicinal values and of these wild vegetables. So uh, this uh, this is also the one of the objectives behind this. Then we also wanted to reintroduce and promote more and more use of these seasonal vegetables in their local diet. Uh, so that is also because these nowadays these wild vegetables have becoming very less in their local diet. So we wanted to have more wild vegetables in their plates. Even we wanted to actually this is the very important point, that we wanted to have more and more awareness among the local people, youth and school kids about these wild vegetables and their importance in their life. So because of that, this whole uh, uh, like thing of wild vegetable festivals came up to have and more awareness of the wild veggies. And then also uh, the last but not the least, to promote the in situ and ex situ conservation of these wild vegetables. Because nowadays, while having discussions with the village elders, we came to know that some of the wild vegetables have become very rare, and but they don't know why, about because of why. So that's why we felt that these wild vegetables need to be conserved, and some rare wild vegetables need to be uh, uh, like uh, need to be like conserved and need to be protect and need to be do a nursery and plantation of these wild vegetables. So that's why for the promotion and for the promotion of in situ and ex situ conservation, and to have these kinds of discussions, we so these kinds of discussion are very much part of these wild vegetable festivals. Then wild vegetable festivals. So within the wild vegetable festivals, what we do, so generally the women from those villages, 6 7 villages in work area. So they actually nowadays these wild vegetable festivals have become very very popular. So nowadays women uh, collect wild vegetables, and they also dry some vegetables and keep it for the wild vegetable festivals in the uh, monsoon days. So so yearly they just collect those wild vegetable festivals and dry them, and then also use in the wild vegetable festivals, and uh, do some very do some recipes at that time. So collection of wild vegetables from the forest and surrounding areas. So basically, they during these festivals they collect the wild vegetables from that area, and most some of the women try to have some rare wild vegetables in their plates to to have more and more diversification of these recipes. Then cooking recipes from these diverse vegetables means they have different kinds of recipes. Uh, uh, they make some very delicious recipes from these vegetables. Then they display different recipes in that festivals. Then after displaying the recipes, there has been a discussions on the nutritional and medicinal properties among the wild food and their importance for the community. Even at that time, we also make sure that there should be someone from some we sometimes we call some Ayurvedic doctor to talk on the wild vegetables and their medicinal values. Sometimes we also call some experts on the wild vegetables, and sometimes we also call some people from the some research organizations, and some most of the time and sometime not sometime but always the village some village elders also get a chance to talk to the people and share their knowledge about the wild vegetables and their importance, and what they do in the past, and what they expect from the locals in future, and those kind of things. So these kinds of discussions always happen during our uh, wild vegetable festivals, and also the discussions on the protection and conservation of these species also. So those kinds of also discussions we always carry. And during these wild vegetables, we also called the people from outside, like the visitors, because in city people always like to have a part of these wild vegetable festivals because they have a very uh, 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 the they are very passionate about the wild vegetable festivals, and uh, therefore we call them to show local youth and school kids that look, Bosky, the city people, they have very much love and passion for the wild vegetable festival because those vegetables are not they are not getting in the cities, and therefore they came here to have this because these vegetables have lot of nutritional factors and even the medicinal properties. So we also interact those visitors with the local youth and local school kids, so therefore to minimize their uh, guilt or minimize their what do you call it, inferiority complex regarding their lifestyle and regarding their food and regarding their culture. So therefore, we also have these kinds of discussions in our village festival, vegetable festivals also. Uh, so then, first wild vegetable festival was organized in 2009 at Iroli village. So these are some pictures at that time. And after these, because initially we were having a competition about the recipes, the wild vegetable recipes. So this is our first attempt, and in our first attempt, we have got lot of praise, and even the local women also got very excited about this idea, and they always they were very happy about that. So that's why we felt that maybe we should have these wild vegetable festivals each and every year. So this is our first vegetable festivals, and now the other wild vegetable festivals, some glimpses of these festivals. So you can see here he was the MLA of Alandi and Rajguru Nagar in that photograph. So he was the MLA from uh, uh, Khed Alandi constituency, and he visited that wild vegetable festival, and he praised women regarding uh, these wild vegetable festivals, and women were very happy that, Arey, no boss, we are doing a very good thing, and lot of people wanted to have these kinds of festivals in other areas also. So these are some uh, photographs of the wild vegetable festival. So we are organizing 3 or 4 wild vegetable festivals each and every year in different villages. So sometimes one or two villages come together. The women from one and two villages come together, and they have a uh, like the combined wild vegetable festivals in one of the villages. So and they are very active at that time in the wild vegetable festivals. So these are some photographs of the wild vegetable festivals. Yeah. So what we achieved out of this, so these wild vegetable festivals become one of the village cultural activities because every year now people, even the village people also say, "Ki, Are, when are we going to have our wild vegetable festivals?" So they are just uh, uh, waiting for that wild vegetable festivals as a cultural activity. Then women self-help groups from Borgiri, Bhivega, Yavali, Kharpur, Masewadi villages, they organize wild vegetable festivals every year. Then there is a increase in wild veggies in their local diet because of these wild vegetable festivals. So now they have various discussions about the wild vegetables. Then amongst themselves also, they collect wild vegetables. Also, they also goes in the group to collect the wild vegetables, seasonal wild vegetables also. So these kinds of changes also occurring. Then there is greater awareness among the school kids also, and among the youngsters also. So, and it is very becoming popular. So it is becoming popular in the local village also, and in outside areas also. As I said, it's gained a lot of popularity in surrounding cities like Pune, Mumbai, Nashik, Chakan, and Khed also. Then we have documented and published a booklet on wild vegetables of Bhima Shankar, the nutritional and medicinal properties also. Uh, then, we have those booklet with us. So if anybody wants to have that, then I can just give my number. So these booklets are available for free. So anybody wanted to have it, then we can just post it. Only thing is that you need to pay for the postage. So yeah, so this booklet is also available with us. Then local women's strong decision not to sell these wild vegetables. So when we start our village, these wild vegetable festival, so that time lots of people came with us and even came there, and they wanted to buy wild vegetables on the higher price. But from the first wild vegetable festivals, we have decided that we are not going to sell that, and even women are also agree with that. That no, we are not going to sell it, because if we sell it, then we will finish our wild vegetable festivals from the forest and surrounding areas. So we are not going to sell it. And even lots of people say, you know, boss, women, we you can come to the Pune and Chakan and Khed and Mumbai to have these wild vegetable festivals. So we can pay you for that. But women said, you know, we are not coming there. You can come to our wild vegetable festivals and celebrate with us, but we are not going to come outside. So that kind of decisions also women have taken during these wild vegetable festivals. Then cultivation of some of the wild veggies in their kitchen gardens means some of the women have cultivated, and they are cultivating regularly some wild vegetables in their kitchen gardens and on the banks of their agriculture field also. Then some government agency like agriculture department and Panchayat Samiti also appreciated our work and expressed their wish to work together. So from last 2 years, no, even some wild vegetable festivals we have uh, combinedly organized with Panchayat Samiti and Kalpavriksha and local SHG groups. And even nowadays, the agriculture department also is very much expressed their wish, and even Panchayat Samiti expressed that the next wild vegetable festivals can we work together, and can we have those that wild vegetable festival together. So that is also appreciation from the government sectors also. Yeah, so the next steps we are thinking of that we are collecting seed, and we are going to distribute them from this year. uh, then we are also raising some nurseries and by the local self-help groups, and sale and distribution of the saplings, and mostly rare uh, the rare wild, especially of the endangered species or rare wild vegetable rare wild vegetables. And we are just linking it to the government's existing schemes like National Rural Guarantee Act, National Rural Livelihood Mission, and Atma Agriculture Department's Atma scheme. So we are going to wanted to link these with the existing schemes also. Then we also wanted to promote the cultivation of some veggies in the kitchen gardens and in agriculture farms also. Then in situ and ex situ protection and conservation. Yeah. So so there are some wild vegetables you can find in Bhima Shankar, like this. This is tandulza. It is also found. We can also found it. We can also find it in Pune and surrounding areas also. Tandulza, and even I think in the market we can also get these wild vegetables. So this tandulza is very much important because it contains iron, calcium, magnesium, an ample amount of some essential vitamins. It is also good to eat in anemia. And also, it is very helpful to flush the toxic substances from our body and help in cough, impurities in blood, acidity, headache, and burns, etc. Then this is umber, like ficus. So this is also one of the wild vegetables. Then this is kurdu, because we have very short of time. That's why I'm going uh, fast. And as you said, that as you see, these wild vegetables have lot of nutritional and medicinal properties. So this is kurdu, which is used, highly used in Bhima Shankar in the month of monsoon, in the month of June and July and August. Then this is bhokar. Bhokar, in some places it is also called as shelwat. Then this is kande chitru. It is highly medicinal. This is takla tarota. Actually, we can find it in our city areas also. We can see it along the roadside and along the uh, along the nalas and all that. Even this kate sour. So flowers are used for making the recipes. Then karvanda, then bharangi. This is chichardi. It's like a tiny eggplant, like tiny fruits you can see. So these are chichardi. Very bitter in taste. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was really a very good initiative, and there are lots of praises in the chat box as well. We have few questions. Uh, Manjari Mahajan says that this is incredible work. Uh, this we have such a massive bank of such local knowledge. Do let us know when the next this food festival will be organized. We would like to
Sure,
join.
sure.
Yeah, and also, do you think this is possible to grow in the urban areas? I think,
Yes,
yeah, few
yes,
of the
yes,
names
and
are quite familiar to us. The later ones you showed right now. So
yeah.
definitely, I think we can grow
No,
in our
even
garden.
yeah. Actually, sorry, I forgot to tell that even our urban areas have lot of wild vegetables around us. So, but we
Right.
don't know about those. So we don't have time, but sometimes we can have a different session on the wild vegetables around the cities area.
Yeah, we have one comment from Kumareshwari Rajendran. Great determination. Happy to know that they don't want to commercialize. Very informative session and indeed needed in terms of food security. We need to understand and revive back to our native food crops. How can you just tell about how to identify how you identified the wild vegetables who helped you in this, and we would like to get know regarding the book as well. So
Yeah, yeah. So actually, as earlier said, that this is the local traditional knowledge. So the local people try to the local people help us to identify those wild vegetables. Actually, this is their knowledge. We only documented those things in our book, and we also give a duly respect to their traditional knowledge, and we clearly said in our book that this is their knowledge, this is their information. We only documented in the book format, and that's why we don't have any so kind of price on the book. So it is free for distribution, and anybody can get it.
okay, Piyush sir is asking, this is excellent presentation. Has this work also led to some conservation work either in situ or ex situ?
Yes, yes. So, like I said, the most some women are also uh, like planting some wild veggies in their kitchen gardens and even on their farmlands also. And some nowadays we are thinking of to link this to the National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. Within that, they have a nursery raising thing, then they have a plantation thing, and then they have a conservation thing also. And even in CFR, we have also claimed for CFR rights under the Forest Rights Act there. And under the CFR right, there are a CFR management thing also. And under the management thing, wild vegetables are the key part of that management plan. And under that management plan, we are going to have in situ conservation. So means conserve those wild vegetables in their habitats. So that is our agenda mostly. So we are working on that.
Okay. Madhu Reddy is asking, in terms of observation, did people notice more wild edible foods in their non-cultivated lands, or land cultivated with organic methods, or where they were able to get these in commercial chemical fields? So, what was your observation?
No, sorry, I didn't get that question.
Yeah, so she wants to ask whether these vegetables were observed in more wild, these wild edible foods were observed in non-cultivated lands as well.
Yeah. So,
or in.
Yeah. So we observed that it is mostly on the uncultivated lands, and even because where we are working in that area also, there are the people are using the what do you call it, chemical fertilizers. So some uh, not more, but very few wild veggies are in those type of farmlands. But mostly these wild vegetables are available in the forest or surrounding.
प्रदीप और मैं हम एक 10 साल से एक ही क्षेत्र में काम करता हूँ भीमा शंकर में। तो फिर ये भी है कि काम क्या करता है वो भी समझ में नहीं आता। कभी कभी वाइल्ड लाइफ के ऊपर काम चलता है, कभी कभी ग्राउंड के ऊपर काम चलता है। वो मुश्किल है वो भी बताना कि क्या काम करते हैं हम। हर चीज से जुड़े रहते हैं हम। जैसे कि अभी वाइल्ड वेजिटेबल फेस्टिवल है, हनी बीज के ही, बर्ड्स के कुछ प्रोग्राम रहते हैं, कुछ लोकल प्रोग्राम रहते हैं, कुछ महिला बचत गट के रहते हैं। तो अलग अलग काम हमेशा चलता रहता है प्रदीप के साथ। Thank you.
Subhash is a local guy from one of the early villages, so where we have started our first wild vegetable festivals. So that time he was very young and passionate about that. So yeah.
Even for the book, I would like to mention here the camping guide, trailing guide that we have made. Subhash was throughout there with us, and Subhash ने बहुत मदद की उस book में. So Subhash, thank you again for that.
Oh, thank you. Welcome.
Swati, I just thought if yeah, okay, great. Pradeep, thanks.
So ये हमारा book है. बुकलेट हमने भीमा शंकर पौष्टिक रामराजा म्हणून, so we have published this. So under this we have these kinds of wild vegetable festivals and wild veggies and their medicinal properties and their recipes. So Subhash and I documented these wild vegetables. Thank you. Sorry, my because of the English I was very.
No, it was fantastic. Must.
No.
I just have one quick question regarding this. I think Manjiri also asked that can we grow that, or like we have native plants nursery, and now there is a lot of trend of having edible local plants even in the terrace garden many times.
Yeah.
So they have these leafy vegetables, and there's a lot of demand for that. So हे तुम्ही किती रेकमेंड कराल अर्बन टेरेस फार्मिंग करता, फूड फार्मिंग करता, wild vegetables का? It's better that they grow in their own, I mean obviously ideally ते तिथेच grow व्हायला पाहिजे, but still if we want to grow them as edible landscape in our small areas like small terraces, is there any study done on that, or anybody is taking up that particular work?
I don't think so. Some people are doing on their own, but actually this is a good idea. But actually, as I said, na, ki some plants cannot be grows here. They can only
Mm-hmm.
grow in the Sahyadri region,
Wild.
and even yeah, in the wild. And so, but some plants we can definitely do.
Okay.
And even most of these vegetables, actually, a lot of these wild vegetables are seasonal, so we cannot grow it throughout the year. So that is also not possible. But yeah, but we need to just
Explore
because
this.
we never thought of it. But
Mm.
yeah, we need to think on it. Which kind of or which wild vegetables can be grown on the terrace and
Mm-hmm.
all that. So yeah,
Okay.
maybe we'll
We will
thought of
discuss. That might
yes,
be a
yes.
good idea to
Yeah, yeah,
insert in awareness about those. Yes.
yeah, yeah, and it is also help to the ex situ conservation also.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
so much,
thank you.
Subhash and Pradeep, both of you.